Ladies and gentlemen, I want us today to look at the latest opinion polls. I know I was in this record the last time I discredited some opinions, and my reservation in the opinion polls still remains on the sampling size. And what was released yesterday have really been causing jitters in the political corridors of this country. And without wasting time, I want us to look at what they are saying, and we want us to give it a very holistic approach. First, the sample was on 1,500, and this opinion poll shows that in Murang'a, William Ruto enjoys 71% of the support, and Raila Odinga is coming at 16%. But then in Nairobi, Raila Odinga is enjoying 41%, while William Ruto is 31%. Then in Busia, Raila Odinga enjoys 76%, while William Ruto is at 12%. That is a bit of what they say in the presidential ballot. Also, they also did something on the Nairobi gubernatorial race. And according to the poll, is that Johnston Sakaja is ahead of the rest, 21. Then Tim Wenyonyo is coming over with 14. Ann Kananu and Ngatia are 6, 7 respectively. They also did the poll in Murang'a on the gubernatorial seat. And in Murang'a, William Ruto, UDA candidate, that was Irungu Kang'ata, is ahead of the rest compared to others. Coming second is Jamlek Kamau. The same poll also indicated that Jubilee Party is that UDA Party is more popular in Murang'a than Jubilee, and then said that it was 6 times in a row. These polls, TIFF have been doing these polls since 2017, and 6 times in a row, Jubilee UDA is ahead of Jubilee in Murang'a. This post, I wanted us to, that was just to give you a holistic approach on how you can look at it. And if you look at it generally, the UDA governors that are in Kenya Kwanza, especially Nairobi and Murang'a, are ahead compared to the rest. And I saw a very interesting tweet by Robert Alai that the TIFA, someone from TIFA is working closely with Johnson Sakaja. But of course, that is topic for another day. And in this poll, it is showing that Raila is gaining ground. Because last time, I think, the last poll that was done, I think, by the Star, was actually indicating that Raila Odinga, that William Ruto had more support than Raila Odinga in the Nairobi CBD. And I can remember if I did that analysis here, and I pointed out that my reservation was with the fact that William Ruto was enjoying more support than Raila Odinga in Nairobi. I think that was a bit, I faltered that, personally I faltered that. And then this latest poll seems to have vindicated my doubt, or rather my worry on that poll. Now, as we focus on the presidential ballot, this poll was conducted between 3rd and 9th February. If you remember, between 3rd and 9th February, Raila Odinga was out of the country, and because he flew on 4th February to India. That was last month in February. On 4th to India, then came back, I think, on 15th. So by the time these people were doing these interviews, they were not, Raila Odinga was not in the country. So I want to believe that with him out of the country, he did not have a lot of visibility in the media space. And of course, what was being captured of him is just maybe in terms of what he's saying social media and what the other Sky team are doing. But of course, there is some very few indications that I want us to look at in this analysis. Unlike the Star, that they did the Star normally do the phone telephone interviews, but this one is normally a ground interview. This one they walk to people, and I don't know. I think they should also make us understand the criteria they used to pick the 1,500 sample, the sample that they used to do this analysis. But that is also there. So let's ask ourselves this question. Raila Odinga is enjoying 76% from Busia, and Nairobi is also enjoying 41. I doubt whether William Ruto have 31, but of course that can also be true. Then William Ruto enjoys Murang'a 76. And so I want us to look at why Raila's popularity is actually growing with time. But before I do that, I also wanted to point out, to bring to your attention, why the TIFA polls focused on Murang'a, on talking about William Ruto's popularity. I think that was done deliberately so that it can also show the Raila team where they need also to focus their energy. They have not done the other counties, but I think I would be so much interested to see maybe other pollsters trying to do from other counties. But Murang'a, Raila Odinga have a point man, and that point man is none other than Peter Kenneth, who is being vouched to be his running mate. So these polls are not casted on stone, and they don't come from the blues. There could also be a probability that the team wanted to show, that this team really wanted to show that Raila Odinga needs to maybe pick a running mate from there, because it is in that place that he's still really struggling to pull the numbers. That could also be number one. Number two, I also want you to be cognizant of the fact that this poll, this pollster is actually, they are bringing these results just a day after William Ruto jetted from abroad. And I think with it coming now, deliberately, by design or not, it is going to disorient William Ruto a bit. If they tend to buy it, then it might disorient William Ruto a bit. And William Ruto maybe can change strategy and feel, okay, I need to focus on Busia. And I want to agree, because it is in Busia that when William Ruto was campaigning some time back, I think the last rally, someone was almost mentioning Azimio there, because the ground is more of Azimio, and it's putting a lot of focus on William Ruto to work on the other side of Busia. So guys, that is it. So before I do an analysis, or before I just give you projections on why Raila Odinga's popularity is growing, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel. I believe that already you're a subscriber, but just confirm your subscription, and also click the notification bell so that when we publish a video, you'll always have that notification. And that, of course, that one, you are going to help us grow this channel. And I mentioned in this channel that I think I did analysis in this channel that Raila Odinga needed to hit the ground by this time William Ruto was away, so that he can at least hold a grip and compensate for the time when he was out of the country. Because remember, in February, he was out of the country for like 10 days. And immediately the day I did that analysis, think like today, the following day, the marathon schedule came out, and now Raila Odinga has been on that, and that is supposed to culminate on Jacaranda rally tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow I will be in Jacaranda, so I'll be doing a very critical analysis about that. The idea here, why the popularity of Raila is increasing, is the idea of Azimio la Umoja. Azimio la Umoja is a concept, and even from the name Azimio la Umoja, it actually tells you that it's a dream of unity. That is it. So the dream of the unity, it is boosting Raila because it is accommodative. If you look at all these small parties that are joining Azimio, in the larger picture, the perception that it is creating, the perceptional value it's adding to Raila Odinga's candidature is huge compared to if it was just William Ruto, if it was just Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta deal, maybe Jubilee and ODM deal. But with the fact that now he's holding grip and is now adding more other parties into it, Kenyans are trying to feel like the motive of Azimio is for the good of Kenyans. Remember, this is something that Moses Kuria was talking about, that he doesn't understand the Azimio concept, and that Azimio is a bit of a amorphous group. But it seems Kenyans are trying now to understand the concept, that it is about the unity. And the unity here sells because we all know where Kenya is coming from. So when Raila sells unity and the other team seems to be bumping, I think Kenyans are now getting reception of the Azimia concept. Two is the Jubilee endorsement. Now, the Jubilee endorsement in this context is very positive for Raila because first, Jubilee is the ruling coalition. And to Raila supporters, they have always believed that Raila have been winning elections, but he was not announced president-elect because of goodwill. So the Jubilee endorsement, and by extension President Uhuru Kenyatta, is instilling confidence, is revamping the hope, and now even the fatigued Raila fan base are now feeling like it is the time. In fact, they are now getting renewed energy that this is the time that Raila is closest to the presidency. And I can actually confine myself to this argument that in 2022 August 9th polls, Raila stands a very premier chance to inherit State House compared to both two instances. Even though the dynamics have changed, but you cannot underestimate that for the first time in his political career, he's getting a huge support, or rather he's trying to amass some support from the Central Kenya, just because one Central Kenya do not really have a formidable candidate. So the Jubilee endorsement have worked both for him in Nairobi, even outside the other parts of the country. You have to take it, you have to give it the credit, because even if William Ruto has 76%, and if Raila Odinga still can get 12% there, and this is just an opinion poll, that means with I think with the error margin, there is a possibility that between now and August he can pull 40%. Now that is a very promising percentage. Number three, I think Raila have been more receptive on the media space, the media coverage. If you look at the way his rallies are being structured, there is a 360 marketing or mobilization approach. The people that attend rallies, they don't attend rallies because exclusively they love a candidate. By the extent a rally, the extent of the crowd also depends on mobilization. Now, one of the tools of mobilization is mainstream and social media. So the social media team of Raila Odinga, I think that team is being led by Dennis Onsarigo. They have been doing an excellent work in pushing Raila imaging. And this imaging have also been further sustained more positively in the mainstream. You will see that they make the invites and they get the positive coverage in time. And I think that works because within the cycle, within the Raila Odinga's campaign circle, there are also some media players that are also around him. Lastly, the Kalonzo letter was won in the public courts. And you know, when Kalonzo released that pact, I think his goal, or what will be the resultant force, is for Kenyans to pile pressure on Raila to support Kalonzo Musyoka. But then, I think the victim of that letter then is not Raila. The person that Kenyans are now sympathizing with is Raila Odinga, because there was a very close argument that you want me to support you and I've never been a president. So that just statement that Raila have never become a president drew sympathy on his side. And now Kalonzo Musyoka supporters that maybe why Nairobi are now drifting towards Raila Odinga, because now they feel that Kalonzo has no obligation but to support Raila Odinga because they have unfinished business. And because if you look at this time, what you can actually see here, exactly what you can actually see here is Kalonzo Musyoka is being cornered that he has to work with Raila or Kenya Kwanza. He cannot walk out of that of that pipe. He is in that. So Raila winning that conversation in the public court is also boosting his credibility that it is time for him to become president. Guys, that's my analysis. What do you think?